Mind Gap Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Mind Gap Podcast. I'm Doug.
I'm Justin, and Doug, I got a very threatening question for you.
Okay.
What do you want from 2025?
Fuck, man, I don't know.
What do you want from 2025?
I don't want anything, man. I'm just here to get my groceries. All right, I'll sign the petition. Whatever you want, man. I just want to get my groceries. I don't want any problems.
Hi, do you have a minute to hear about 2025? Could you sign our petition?
I don't know what's wrong with it. Is it sick?
You'll see.
Oh no.
Just live out the year. You'll see.
Oh, just live out the year. I think that actually might be what I want from 2025. I just want to make it.
I just want to live out the year, man.
Just want to make it. I'm not a, you know me.
World's literally on fire.
I've complained about it for years. I don't like resolutions. New Year's resolutions. I don't.
Yes.
Let me add New Year's in front of that. I hate things that get resolved.
Hate resolutions. Ba-da-ba-ba-da.
Yeah, see? Ah! You son of a bitch. Yeah, I don't like New Year's resolutions. I don't like making long-term goals. It might be a problem to my detriment, but like at work, they're like, let's talk about your annual goals. I'm like, let's not. I'd prefer not to.
Yeah. We can. That's honestly, a whole different. We can get into that.
That's a whole different
work goals. Yeah.
Yeah. But like personal goals and stuff like that, I'm like, I don't know. I don't aim too high. You know, I'm like, keep working out. You know, try to eat well. Spend time with Natalie. Do fun stuff with her. Go on a cool vacation with the family. You know, like just simple things. Like I don't have massive goals.
You and I are aligned in that. Like we've talked in previous beginning of year episodes about, you know, resolutions and how we like, it's like, they're just, you make them to break them. Like it's new year, new me. I think we spent an entire episode talking about new year, new me one time.
Probably,
I think we're sitting in the basement of Elephant
At least
Castle.
2 or 3 of those we've made.
Yes. In the last, how many New Year's ones of these have we done? 9. So yeah, in the last 9 New Year's. No, I asked this because I'm in the same. I don't like making specific long-term goals. Mm-hmm. So like I look at like
which when it comes to goal making, major flaw.
Right, exactly, which is why I don't do it and I don't like it.
It's supposed to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely.
So I'm in the same boat as I think resolutions are a recipe for failure. But what I do like is kind of looking generally at like, am I happy right now? Mm-hmm. How can I steer things to kind of have a better year? You know, instead of like making a resolution of like, I'm going to read 10 books this year. I'm going to go to the gym every day. I'm going to, you know, all that kind of shit. I think like from 2025, I was like, I want to be able to say yes and no to different things better. So being able to set boundaries for things I don't want to do and being able to say yes to stuff that I would be normally like, I'd rather just kind of sit on the couch and just, you know, watch New Girl for the 17th time, you know, like be like going to the Grand Rapids Film Society events and stuff, like just saying yes, putting myself in uncomfortable situations to see what happens. So this is the year of yes and no kind of thing. Okay. You know what I mean?
I've got one for you. All right.
Okay.
Watch Arcane.
I kind of want to watch New Girl.
I know. It's tough. It's tough breaking away from the things that we know and love, but
okay.
Watch
you got
Arcane.
It. That sounds like a specific resolution, though, Doug.
It's pretty specific.
I'm going to watch Arcane this year. I don't see that's too resolution.
I'll put a calendar like note so that you'll have by a certain date to watch it.
I love it,
and you'll be like, "Fuck, I got to do that." You know, like.
Right.
I like that. I like the idea. Setting boundaries is so important, and it feels like it's gotten a little bit easier for me as I've gotten older because I'm also like, I've just learned that, you know, I am control of my time. And also you can say no and not be a dick. Because sometimes you feel like by saying no, you're being a dick. You're like, no, you can be kind and just be like, yeah, you know, it doesn't work out for me, you know?
Yeah.
Like one of my local buddies, he does like a board game night every Thursday.
Sure.
From 7:30 and then he closes down the bar. And I would love
holy shit
to do that, but I'm like, I can't do that on a Thursday. Like,
no,
I'll go there and play a 2-hour game, but even that is pushing it because I get up at 5. So like, you know, I went once, had a really good time, but the next week he's like, all right, man, we're playing like the Andromeda cycle or whatever the hell it was called. I'm like, oh, that
Yeah.
sounds. He goes, oh yeah, it's like a 4-hour game. I'm like, can't do it. Like,
No, thank you. That's just not gonna work for me.
can't do it. But I was like, I love that guy. I love playing games with him. But I was like, I can't do that. So like, I was like, I'm sorry, man. I can't do it. It just doesn't work for me in my schedule.
Yeah.
What I want to do, you know. And also just saying no to things that you don't want to do, you know. Like,
Right. Well, just things that you that you're just like I'm saying yes out of obligation because I feel bad if I don't go or if I don't say. It's like no, like and not having to actually explain why. I think that's the other big thing is being like I can say no because I just want to say no. I don't have to. I don't because that's I am such an over justification over explain. Like, well, no, because I'll sit there and I'll think like, well, if they ask me this, then what do I say to that? Like, I'll go through all these different scenarios, and it's such a fucking waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a waste of time. So just saying no and being like, it just look doesn't work for me. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah. Cause especially when you're a kid, if you would say no, because kids are always like, why? Well, why?
Yes. Well, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why with Natalie, like she asked me something yesterday. I go, no. She's like, well, why? And I'm like, do you want the real answer? You're not going to like it.
Right. Well, and it never understood when I was younger. My parents would say, because I said so. And I'm like, that's not fair. And I'm like, well, no, as an adult, that absolutely makes sense because I said so.
Well,
hard stop.
I'm going to push back on that because a lot of that generation was like, they didn't have the emotional skills or the communication skills to actually be like, well, this is why.
I'll concede that. That's
because
fair.
a lot of those people felt like by explaining, they're giving up some sort of power. You know?
Yeah.
Because there's an authority to be like, I said no, and you have to listen. And it's like, well, they said no, and yeah, I guess that's it. Whereas now I explain to Natalie all the time. I'm like, do you want to know? I'll tell you. And this is where we stand.
It's less about because I said so with you and more. You're literally asking her like, you sure you want to take the time? Because this is going to be like a 5-minute answer for you.
Well,
so
that I'm like, you may not like this answer. Like, I'm just going to prepare you
justification.
For that. Like, you're not going to like why, because it's not going to make you feel better.
Right.
You know, like the answer is no. Like, you can't go hang out with your friend because I don't like them. Like, that's it.
Right.
I don't want them coming over here. All right. Or I don't want you going over there. So that's the way it is. They're not a bad person. Their household is just different from ours, and I don't like the way that they govern. Simple as that.
Right.
So
I just don't want. Yeah, I don't want you going over to this foreign entity because I don't like the way that they run. They run their interior.
Yeah. It's just it's things like that. They're tough conversations, right? Because you don't want to.
Sure.
Because also with kids at that age is we have to tell them like, hey, listen, don't talk about this to your friends or whatever because they're not going to understand. It's not their fault, right? Like we're not.
There's nuance that a lot of the kids don't often pick up on.
Yeah. And we say in a way where it's like everyone lives by different rules in their different households, and we don't always agree on that, and that's okay. But also that means we may not necessarily let you go over there all willy-nilly because we don't feel comfortable doing something like that. So, but yeah, I for me, a lot of it too is just like I don't have a whole lot of family to say no to anymore. But I'm more than happy to tell them absolutely not. I'm more than happy to tell other folks where I'm just like, yeah, we're not going to do this anymore. We're going to trim this down or whatever because, to me, my core family, just me, Natalie, Jill, like that's what matters most.
Yep.
And we will sometimes Jill has to be like, always, if the option is go do this thing or stay home and just be us and have our time is always going to win. Right. It's not a fair comparison.
Right.
So we have to weight this decision a little bit because obviously that is the best decision for us because that's what we want to do all the time, every time.
Great on a curve.
Great on a curve. But yeah, no, I think that's great, man. We were doing some vision boards for work as like a icebreaker activity. For an icebreaker activity. I was like, I hate these.
If you, Nat and Jill were doing it, that's one thing. But for work, that is so no. I concur with your.
When I was at Grubhub, it was like hardcore, like let's do a vision board, gang, and I'm like, no, I do not want to do that. So this was like take 10 minutes and put what's on your vision board, and I was like, I don't want to do this. But a lot of people, what they put on there was like, I want to say no. I want to be able to say no more often. Because I'm tired of being a people pleaser to my own detriment. And I was like, respect. I respect that, because it can be hard to say no. I understand that. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to do it, but it's super important to set those boundaries and it's okay. I've learned it's okay to be like, yeah, no, I'm staying home.
Yeah. Well, that's to me where the difference between like a resolution sits and just kind of like figuring out which way you want to kind of steer the ship of life, steer your own ship a little bit. Like resolution, I do the same, like we were saying, like I want to do X, Y, and Z. It's these like hard, these goals that usually are way too high like you're never going to meet them. Like usually people set resolutions at an unachievable level because they don't understand what it takes to make a commitment. Like, for example, I like to call them the Resolutionists at my gym, right? Like it's like the first 2-3 weeks of, I don't know what we're in now, but like the first 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Is that what this is? Shit. Yeah. The first 2 weeks of the year, we'll say, have been so uncomfortably packed at my gym. I don't know how it is at yours.
Funny.
But it is. But I'm like, a lot of these people I think don't understand. I'm looking at my watch going, okay, how many more? I think by the end of this next week, not this one, but the end of the next week, I think we should be rounding or starting to ramp down. And we're going to pick a few people up and that's fine. Like that's not a problem. But this influx of people is bonkers to me. And most of these people I think my guess is that they've made these resolutions and they're like, I'm going to go to the gym every day. And I'm like, you are going from 0 to 100, and that is not always sustainable. Like maybe start by doing a walk around the block and seeing how that works for you, and then add in a couple days at the gym and do and some of these people may, but I just feel like a lot of the new year, new me crowd they shoot for the moon, and it's just like, you're never going to make it.
It's hard to maintain that sort of stuff.
It is.
So, and this is the best time of year for gyms because this is where they get so many sales. They don't necessarily maintain it or whatever. Or maybe they do because their cancellation policies are so archaic.
They're so horrible.
You have to mail a certified letter to this random PO box in Tennessee. It's like, well, okay.
Okay.
Fucking assholes. Like, ugh.
Right. Or they lock you in for the year and you're like, fuck it, I'll just eat it.
Yeah, right. I'll say one thing about what I like about your resolutions is I do like that they're sort of like long-standing. Like there's someone else on their mission, on their vision board that said they wanted to be patience. They want to work on patience. I was like,
sure,
cool,
yeah.
I like that. Right. An ongoing thing of like, my only pushback on stuff like that, because while I do like, I'm going to go to the gym X amount of times, yada, yada, yada. That may not be attainable, but it is specific. There's a plan to it, right? There is a plan to it. To say, I want to say no more. How are you going to plan to say no more? What are you setting in front of you to recognize a moment where you're like, oh, is this a moment where I need to say no? How am I going to do that? And preparing yourself to do it so that, I hate that I'm fucking saying this.
No,
but how are you going to measure that, right? When you come to 2026, are you going to look back and be like, did I say yes more? Did I say no more? How are you going to know? That's my only pushback because trust me, I love living in the vague when it comes to goals because I'm like,
that's fair, yeah.
And
I think what it is for me is it's the same thing that I like to start the year with is like, am I happy right now? Sure. Like, am I making decisions and things where I'm feeling pretty good about things, So I think the measure of it at the end of the year is, do I feel like I'm happier than I was at the end of last year? And so if that's the case, cool. Then I've been making some decisions in the right direction.
You're such a capitalist. You're such a capitalist.
How is that capitalism?
You're like, am I progressive growth year over year of happiness?
Yeah.
Is endless growth? Are the shareholders happy with my endless growth of happiness? Fucking capitalist.
Oh, so there needs to be a cap. So you socialist, you want to cap happiness? There's only so much happiness people should. I can't have billions of units of happiness. Is that what you're saying, man?
Here's what I'm saying, Justin. How much do you need? How much is enough, Justin?
As much as I can get, Doug. Why should you limit someone's happiness, man?
Yeah. Go buy another happiness yacht. All right.
Come on, bro.
Happiness yacht. Go buy another happiness jet. Go ahead. Spend your happiness and get another jet. Upgrade your jet.
Spend your happiness. Man, what a change in tone when you swap out the word dollars for something like happiness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What an absolute change in the conversation. Have you seen more?
Go buy some more real estate with your happiness, Justin. Fucking dick.
God, you know what? If only that were a currency. God damn.
You know what? If only. Here, I'm here to, excuse me, Mr. Bank. I like to withdraw some of my happiness dollars,
Yes, I will take that farm. And that is 20,000 happiness.
Done.
Done.
I am getting interest on that happiness, am I not? Yes.
That's right. Yes. Glee. I think it's called Glee. Am I getting
yes, Glee. Glee on me, baby.
Glee. Are you seeing more people at the gym on yours though?
I go at like 5:30 in the morning, so I see pretty much the same people there. I bet if I worked out later in the day, I probably would.
Okay.
I've seen maybe one or two new people, one of whom.
Oh, you're lucky.
One of whom I'd like to drop a 45-pound plate on his head.
Give it to me, because I've got a couple observations from these resolutionists that I want to throw by you. But what about this individual?
I'm dangerously close to switching gyms. Like, that's how annoyed I am right now. I probably won't do it because it's hard to cancel.
Right.
But it's just,
who's got stamps, right?
I'm so sick of people. It's a microcosm for our country. People just don't put their shit away. You all have heard me rail about this, but it's so easy just to put your shit away, and people just don't do it. There is a 60-pound straight bar, like one of those straight bar curls. I haven't seen it in months. No fucking clue where it is.
Yeah.
I'm because I use it for certain exercises. I'm like, well, I'm either going to do a 50, which is too light, or a 70, which is too heavy. I don't know. I'm fucked. Like, I'll have to find another way. I have so many workarounds. I feel like at the Jim MacGyver as far as doing workouts and stuff.
Dude, your workarounds I've been implementing. It's been fantastic to get me around things.
Because it's just like, I don't know what to do. This guy, I immediately didn't like him. He's one of the guys, I don't know if you've seen this, who he's an older dude. He dresses in sweats, black sweats, hood up. Under that hood, he has like a beanie cap, like a stocking cap. All right.
Yep.
And he always wears a belt.
There it is. I was just about to ask, does he have a belt?
Always a belt. Not doing any legs or just always doing a belt. And of the last 4 or 5 times I've seen him, he always occupies a bench press, like bench. All right. And he's not always doing bench.
Right. Sometimes, but he lives there. Like he pays rent on that. Like he
plops
is there.
down there, and he's like doing dumbbell stuff, but he's not doing bench press.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, there's only 3 bench presses here. If you're just gonna do like dumbbell stuff, find a random bench over by the dumbbell stuff. Like, you don't have to occupy this. But the reason why I didn't like him at first was this guy who's in this getup. There's a ton of like heavy bags and shit for people to practice like boxing and things like that. And I've seen some legit people in there who are like kickboxers and shit. And I'm like, cool. You're cool.
The one thing I wish my gym had.
And this guy, who was not there to do a bag workout, I'm doing a machine over there. He just comes over. He's like, punches the bag a few times and just walks off. And I'm just sitting there like doing my rows, just like. And he walks off. I'm like, you gonna go back there, or you just have to get in a couple of hits while you're? And he never went back to it. I'm like, yep, I don't like you. I don't like you. Don't like
Doug,
you
it's what we call active rest.
Yeah, sure. So he occupies a bench, doesn't do bench, does weird dumbbell stuff. And then it sounds like he's doing weird butt stuff. He's doing dumbbell stuff. And then the next day, there's like an old dude that was like maybe 80, who apparently he was coaching on how to work out. And I'm like, this guy is in no shape at all. Like, he's a big dude.
Wait,
like, hey,
was the 80-year-old coaching, or the
dumbbell
dude
guy
was coaching?
The 50-year-old guy was coaching the old guy. And they were occupying the bench again, but not doing bench press. And they had 2 sets of dumbbells of the weight that are the most commonly used, 15s and 20s. Right? Those get used all the time.
Yeah.
And I watch these guys, and they're doing whatever they're doing. And also, this 50-year-old guy has terrible form, just awful form. He actually did bench press this morning. I watched him do it. He just goes, he doesn't do full extensions and full retractions.
So for those listening, Doug has his bar right down by the chest, and he's coming up just about 2-3 inches and coming right back down.
Yeah. He loaded it up with 2 45s and was like tacking on more 5s and more 10s and stuff like this. He did like 12 reps and then does a full extension to rack it. And I'm just like, horrible for him. Just terrible for him. And so anyway, so he's coaching this old guy, and then I finish up with something, and I'm walking by, and I realize the bench is empty, but the dumbbells are just sitting there, and they're stacked up by the bench, and they're nowhere to be found. These guys.
Oh, so you're like, so does that mean you're saving the bench? Does that
I started scanning, and they were not in the gym, and I was like, you fucking assholes. Put your dumbbells away when you're done. Like, why would anyone be like, where are the 15s and 20s? Let me check this bench press to see if the 15s and 20s are there. It was so bad. I went to another part of the area where it has like AstroTurf, where they also have dumbbells. And I was doing something over there, and this woman came over. She goes, I'm so sorry. Can I borrow your 20s and do a quick set? I go, absolutely. And she did them. She goes, thanks. There are no other ones. I go, that's why I'm over here. It's because nothing that's not over there. And that's super fucking frustrating. Yeah. To have that stuff happen. And I'm so sick of people not putting their stuff away. It's not hard to put your shit away. And that guy just, I see him. And today I almost stole his dumbbells because
that would have been the ultimate.
He was doing bench and then he walked away. And I'm like, is he leaving? Is he leaving? Because I need those dumbbells. And if he's gone, then I'm like, I'll do another set. And if he's not back, I'll take him. And I turn around, he come back. I'm like, okay, good. Probably good I didn't take him because
that's the kind of guy that would get into it with you.
He totally looks like the kind of guy that would be like, hey, what are you doing? And
he'd walk up to you and go,
and I would just pull down my pants
and walk away.
Pull down my pants, getting to change my dye, spread my butt cheeks and say, kiss it.
Kiss it.
Kiss it.
Kiss my cinnamon.
So tell me about your gym stuff, Justin. What's going on with you?
So similarly,
don't you play Snake and hiss at me like that? How dare you?
Sneaky.
How dare you?
There was the three things that I've noticed are, number one, the people, again, it's the people who with the form, like they're doing these sets. It's almost as if they're trying to show off to you. So I'll give you the best example that I can. I was waiting. I was waiting to get onto the Smith machines because those are the only things that we have for bench press in our in Planet Fitness. So there's 4 machines, and with the increased number of people, I have found myself waiting longer now to get on to certain machines. So I'm standing there and I'm just kind of checking what else I have left in the workout, and I look and there's this kid who he's not more than I would be floored if he was more than 20 years old. And I would be floored if he was more than 120 pounds soaking wet, like just a little teeny guy. Mm-hmm. And he's got it down. He's doing hip thrusts, right? So he's got the bar low, and I look up and I'm like, all right, he's doing some hip thrusts. And I look back down, I look back up, and he's got 6 45-pound plates on one side, and he's finishing putting another 6 on the other side. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? So I put my phone down and I actually just posted up against the wall. I'm like, I just have to see what we're doing here. And he's got the foam little pad that goes around the bar. Mm-hmm. And then for some reason, he decides he needs 2 pieces of paper towel to hold onto the bar as well. So he's got paper towel on either end. He pops it up and he starts hip thrusting. When I did the math, 560 pounds. But the way he's doing it is have you ever seen a dog hump?
Never.
Like, you know how just it's these little, just the little hip move. There's not a lot of hip movement. It's just like a little, like when he's on that pillow and there's no balls there. So, there's nothing happening. And so this kid is just, he's fucking the air with this 560 pounds. And I'm looking at him going, what are we doing here? What is this? Because there's no extension of the muscle. You're not actually doing anything. Like, you're just showing that you can essentially support this weight, and then you re-rack it, and then you get down and there's that like the big breaths, as if like kind of looking around like this is performative, and you are taking up at this point 12 45-pound plates. So you have taken them off other machines and put them on yours.
Machines.
Where you've taken them off other
machines
and you put them on yours. And I'm like, this is bananas, man. This is absolutely insane. And then he has to and then there's the performance of taking all 6 off one side and returning them to and then all 6 off the other side and returning them. And I'm like,
bonus points. That guy took off the weight and put it back.
He did it. Yes.
A lot of guys in my gym would just leave it there.
If he had left it there, I would have. I think there would have been a line. I think I would have snapped and just been like, hey, kid, like you gotta come on,
clean up after yourself.
Yeah. You just put on a great show.
I gotta say this, man. You are such a gym rat now. Like, just listening to you talk about this, talking about racking them, the plates, doing the math, how much it was, knowing the form, dude. You're such a capitalist and such a gym bro now. I love it.
You know what? All I gotta do is,
knew you know?
All I got to do is get into stocks and I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Give me them stonks. Diamond hands, baby.
Give me that crypto.
The other thing that I'm noticing with this Resolutionist crew is the grunters. We have did not have those in 2024.
I thought you weren't supposed to have that at Planet Fitness. No,
you're
lumps.
not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that alarm never goes off. But there's I don't know. I don't know if it's connected.
Real quick, I saw a video of a Planet Fitness where a guy was just like shirt off going in a Planet Fitness, and the alarm was going off, and he was just kept screaming and out screaming the siren and just going. It was one of the funniest 5-second clips I've ever seen.
I have seen videos where there are people who see if they can activate it. Like their whole intent is to go in to see if they can get someone to hit the alarm. And so they try to be as obnoxious as possible. And I will say, I do find those funny. But these people,
yeah,
there was one guy, and I'm not exaggerating when I say it sounded like he was coming. Like it was just and he was next to me in the dumbbell section on the next bench. And I was like, I'm going to cut this short and just
that's what a man coming sounds like, right?
You might need to get a doctor to check that out.
Hey man, that's passion. That's passion right there.
It was the most like uncomfortably seductive grunts that I have ever heard come out of a male. It was absolutely wild. And that, I'm not lying, is kind of close to what it sounded like. It's not that far off. But I've heard so many people doing this, and I don't understand if I don't know, is it like a TikTok trend? Like, are they watching fitness influencers and they think this is what they have to do?
There is something with exertion that naturally a lot of times people will grunt, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, I get that. Yes,
I have never.
You can hear the excessive
even
ones.
In my worst days as a young athlete, was I ever going? You know, like I was never ever like, because I always saw it as someone who was trying to get attention. Like I've never had to be like, and also I don't know, like to some degree, like I think the people that are doing that maybe maybe need to be doing that are at a level that are beyond all of us. You know what I mean? Like,
sure, yeah.
There's a path for muscle building that I will never go down because I'm
absolutely
going to be 42 years old and I don't need to blow out my body. I just won't do it. I'm sure someone will be like,
makes sense.
You don't have to blow out your body. I'm like, yeah, I'm just not in the mood to try and like
to live
rep
that
max stuff. Like I don't want to do that, right? Like I'm going to push myself or whatever within the confines of what I do. My pecs are sore today. I'm doing the work. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
that's all you got. Yeah, exactly.
So there's times where I breathe heavy, but I'm not grunting. So that, because also same thing in my gym, there's not a lot of grunters, but when someone is, I'm like looking like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like,
exactly.
You know, I've heard some people be like, I'm motivating other people. I'm like, what?
Hardcore, you're not.
What do you think? What do you think this is?
You're drawing attention, but you're not motivating.
There was a guy in high school who I super mega loathed who would, he was very much a lazy guy, but he was like just naturally strong and fit and everything like that, but he was lazy. But boy, whenever the girls would come into the weight room, all of a sudden,
yeah.
And I was like, Joey, nobody cares. Stop it. Stop it. All right.
Yeah.
So get to the gym, everybody.
Get to the gym.
Specifically, get to Justin's gym in Grand Rapids.
Come on up to the Market Avenue Planet Fitness in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
Come on down.
To see you, and he will critique your thrusts. You know?
Here's the thing: the Planet Fitness judgment-free zone. I'm not a judgment-free individual.
Justin's not a part of. He's not a part of the corporate.
I'm not part of the corporate. Yeah. I respect Planet Fitness's commitment to that. I don't hold the same commitment to myself.
I'm not employed by Planet Fitness. You fucking cocksuckers.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about, speaking of 2025 and New Year, New Me, interesting story about a woman who entered an MRI with a butt plug and ends up in the hospital. All right. I know what you're thinking. Doug, MRI, isn't that at the hospital? That's what I thought too. And I don't have an answer to that question, but that is confusing. But apparently the woman reportedly screamed out in pain as she's being taken out of the machine. So, Justin, what's an MRI? I know we didn't plan this, and you're like, I don't really know. I'm literally looking up for it now.
It's a magnetic resonance imaging machine.
Yeah.
So you go in, and it uses a magnet, and it goes, makes big loud noises. It's very uncomfortable, very aggressively loud, and it takes pictures of your insides.
Yeah. And notoriously, with these things, you have to remain very still.
Yep.
Can't move. And because it's a giant fucking magnet, you can't have anything metal on you.
Right.
So
those are the rules, Doug. Those are the rules.
Those are the rules. Now, so here's the document from the FDA report. All right. Patient was screened for an MRI and did not disclose that she had a quote unquote butt plug inserted. She went in for the MRI, and when the MRI was over and the tech was pulling the table out, the patient started to scream. The patient stated that she felt nauseous, was in pain, and felt like she was going to pass out. An ambulance was called for this patient, and she was sent to the hospital. So this obviously was a place where there was an MRI that also was in a hospital.
It was a Chipotle.
It was, yeah. Notoriously, they have to check their burrito bowls to make sure that there's no lead in them. The patient was checked out by the radiologist at the site before transport to ensure the patient was doing okay. The patient has not returned any of our calls yet to try and follow up to see how she is doing.
Would you? I wouldn't. I would despair.
Which is great because in this article, it says, as anyone who's ever gotten an MRI exam should know, the magnet powering the MRI is always on, and patients are usually told repeatedly not to bring anything potentially magnetic like metals into the room to avoid injury. People will sometimes ignore these warnings, however, which has led to incidents like a woman getting shot in her buttocks by a gun she had taken into an MRI room. That is a separate story that I would love to learn more about. But yowza. So anyway, according to this article, supposedly what happened was this woman who did have a butt plug in, that is confirmed, she thought that the butt plug was entirely made of silicone and not metal. So she's like,
classic mistake.
So like, do you have any metal on you? She's like, no, I'm good. Like, are you sure? Like, yeah, it's no problem. Because if you do, it could really hurt. She's like, I'm good. And then she gets in there. And can you imagine?
Nope, I just have the silicone butt plug. Let's do this.
Right? First of all, imagine having a butt plug in your ass. I'm just like, man, that's got to be... And to be like, yeah, because this is my favorite thing. I brought this up with Jill, and she, for 30 minutes, we were going back and forth on this, and she was just like, so why did she have a butt plug in? I was like, I mean, it's not just for sex. People can just have them in. She's like, but why? I'm like, I can't speak for her. I can't speak for anyone that
I don't know,
that.
Jill. She won't return our calls.
She said she won't say if she's okay. I don't know.
She won't say.
But, I've also come to learn that some people just wear them, like, all throughout the day.
Yep. It's just a thing.
They just do it. So
it's a kink, it's a thing, it's a whatever. But
she's sitting there just being like, but like, if she went to the airport or whatever, like, they did the whole Scanarooski, you put your hands up, they're like, they'd see that. I'm like, well, I guess we can rule out that she hasn't flown any recently,
Not necessarily. Because the thing is, it's not illegal to have it. So she might be a voyeur. She might be one of those people who just like kind of gets her jollies from people knowing.
Or she's like, I'll just take that day off when I'm traveling. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I feel like if you're dedicated to the cause.
Yeah. But to this, she's like, nah, that's cool. I'll take it to the doctor. No big deal.
Yeah.
And apparently...
some people like to read while they're laying down. She just wanted something to do.
Yeah. Just leave it in there and go. Allegedly, she's possibly going to be suing the company that made the butt plug because she's be like, where does it say on the packaging that there's metal in here?
Right.
Kind of situation.
I have an allergy.
Yeah.
To metal.
I do now. Yeah. So I feel horrible for this woman
Look, yeah, do I think it's an odd choice to wear a butt plug into a medical procedure? I do, but you know what? You do you. It wasn't the idea wasn't harming anyone.
No.
Well, until.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast, Some More News. They have they do like their weekly like video essays, and they also have a news episode where they actually just talk about current events and stuff like that. And they had a doctor on who was a GI doctor, gastrointestinal doctor. And he was talking about how he used to have a podcast where he and his co-host came up with an idea to talk about all these people who basically, got stuff stuck in their butts and had to go to the doctors.
Logical.
And eventually he was like, I think we need to stop doing this because this is possibly the worst days of these people's lives. It's got to be one of the most embarrassing things in the world. And there's nothing wrong with experimenting and trying things. The problem is that people are scared to ask about it, especially guys.
Right.
Because they're like, hey, what can I stick up my butt? And then people are going to be like, whatever. And then insert horrible, words after that sort of stuff. So they just do stuff in private and they stick stuff in there that they're not supposed to. And this doctor goes, hey man, there's lots of great stuff out there. All right. Only put stuff in your butt that is designed to be in your butt. I forget what he said, but it needs to have like a splay or something with a cone that you could stop. At some point it stops at the rectum so that you can pull it out. He goes, don't put something in there that doesn't have that technology or it's going to be really bad. Because what happens is, exactly. And then people are scared.
Right.
And then they wait like 3 days and then it gets worse because they're like, maybe I'll poop it out. Or what they don't realize is maybe it stopped them from pooping. And that's even worse. And then they have to go to the doctor or the hospital. And then they have to be like, I stuck something up my butt. So, what I took from this, the guy was like, hey man, get out there and have fun, but do your research and find the stuff that is actually designed to go in your butt. Don't just find random stuff to shove up there because that is going to be really, really bad for you.
It's going to end not well. My favorite part about this whole thing is that the FDA in an official government document had to write the word butt plug.
Yes.
That makes me endlessly happy.
Yes. Because I know like as doctors and stuff like that, there's no shortage of stories of people coming in being like,
oh God, yeah.
What do we got here? And they're like, I put this up my butt. And they're like,
a light bulb.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't break?
Yeah,
no.
Right?
Well, it's gonna
now. There's a whole episode of that on Scrubs.
Yeah, exactly.
Where they're trying to figure out how to do it. It was, I don't know. To that woman, I say, sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry that you didn't know. And you know what? Godspeed. Keep doing what you love. Respect.
Keep doing what I would also say maybe use this as a learning moment and just be like, hey, look, if I'm going for a medical procedure, not necessary.
Just start asking questions.
Keep it in your car when you're done with the procedure, right back in, and
start
then go about
questions.
your day.
Hey, are there powerful magnets there? Wherever you go.
Yeah.
Auto shop.
Sure.
Disneyland.
Sure.
Wherever you're
Junkyard.
going. Yeah. Junkyard. Just ask yourself.
Yeah.
DMV. You have a lot of magnets there because you never know. You don't want to be caught in that situation again. I can only imagine how painful that would have been.
I don't even
in your ass, and then the magnet pulling any which way, just like. I've
got questions like Jill had, and I'm like, yeah, but like, which way did it pull? Like,
was it going up?
That's what I'm saying. Like, was
it smashing down against the table? I don't know, man. Like
did it get magnetized down, and then she started to get pulled out, and so it was like pulling, but not this way, but like against, no.
Yeah.
Not fun.
Speaking of other not fun things,
I don't like anything about what we're about to talk about.
Yeah,
I don't like this at all.
This is going to be bad. This is an article from Forbes, and the the headline is: "This could be your AI robot girlfriend for $175,000."
For $175,000, happiness.
Yes, cash it in now.
Where to begin, Doug? Where to begin?
So there's a place called Real Botics, which I almost read as Real Tit Box. Real Botics. Apparently,
I could see it. No, I could see it. I could see it.
Apparently, they're creating robots that can fulfill a variety of roles, including acting as a brand representative at a sales booth. Okay.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. As a companion for an elderly person, or even as a romantic partner, to tackle the staggering loneliness epidemic. And they are very much inspired by the movie Her.
Yes.
Partially considered a horror film by some. So these robots range from $12,000, which is just a bust, basically talking head and shoulders that you might place on a table and put your dick in the mouth, or to the top of the range, Arya, shown here, which is just horrific, which I think I'm going to share my screen in a second, just so if you're watching, you can see it.
Those eyes are so dead.
It is. Yeah. I'm just
also, I don't know who designed the hair or who styled the hair, but poor choice.
Probably someone who got fired from the Barbie factory for.
Don't do that to Arya. She deserves better.
You know, that's not what I wanted. Where's my.
As you're doing that, I'll say, to tackle the staggering loneliness epidemic, seems like a weird pitch to tackle loneliness. Like, you're not solving loneliness. You're giving someone a robot, and when that robot either breaks down or it's not you're not giving them a companion. That's just odd to me. It's just like having a computer. Like, I think it's a weird swing on that one. To me, it's a very weird swing.
Yeah, there's a lot of this stuff out there.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, scroll back up real quick, just to that picture at the top.
Yeah,
this is just it.
That looks like a computer generated image. That doesn't even look real. Like,
yeah, that absolutely does. It's a
looks
a woman
like a
with
rendering from a 1999 computer game.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I would just say it's hard to even look this up. If you're listening, if you're watching, you've seen it. But if you're listening, either look up the article or head over to YouTube and check out this, because this is it's horrifying.
Well, let's check out this video real quick of it actually working, which is wild. First of all, huge tits.
Unnecessarily.
Just huge tits. And
like, we know what we're doing when we're doing this. Like, you designed this. It's not like those are natural or she said, "Hey, give me a boob job." No, you designed it this way.
By the way, I've seen better mechanics from Kylo Ren at the Rise of the Resistance ride at Disney World than this.
I was going to say the Hall of Presidents moves better than this.
Jesus Christ, this is horrible.
Yeah. She's got this like weird little twitch in her eye, which is very disconcerting.
Yeah. That's horrible. Just absolutely horrible.
It's so terrifying.
It is just dog shit. So,
but back to the physique, that was a choice.
Yeah.
That was an absolute choice to make her that well endowed. And it's an unnecessary choice. Like, we know what we're doing here. And if she's supposed to be used as a representative at a sales booth, the one question I have is, what are you selling?
Yeah, right.
Because it's butt plugs.
Because and they say that what do they say? It's like it's not made for romantic intimacy, as far as like you can't fuck it, but they can be programmed to talk dirty. You know, I'm like,
right.
Okay. It's just like we're trying to make a legitimate fuck doll here. Is what this is.
That's really all they're making. Like,
because when you do it like that, if you design something that way, that's a choice. That is, like you said, there's a design choice to be like, hey, check out this hot robot, and everyone's gonna be like, it's like that again. That's that sketch from Robot Chicken. We're like, look at this most designed invention in the world, and the scientist raised saying, "Can you fuck it? Excuse me, can you fuck it?" Well, no. Everyone goes, "Oh," and then walks away from the presentation.
Yeah, exactly.
And you look at this, you're like, you made this for the sake of someone to be like, again, they're marketing this as like, this could be your AI robot girlfriend. I'm like, what a depressing thing to spend $175,000 on this piece of garbage.
Well, that's it. Like, that's going to cure loneliness? Absolutely not. And then
it might for somebody. It might for somebody.
But is it? I feel like it's, again, like, no pun intended, it's an artificial solve. Like, is it really curing loneliness, or is it just kind of, is it just giving you a little bit of a hit so it takes the edge off, but that loneliness is still festering there.
Dude, I don't want to judge anybody who's like, hey man, I need this. This is the kind of thing that's going to get me through the day. Good for you. I hope you have $175,000 or you could go to $150,000, which you can basically break apart the entire robot and fit it in your suitcase, which, I mean, imagine getting that through TSA. You're like, what's this? It's my robot girlfriend. They'd be like,
that's
cool.
Aria.
Let him go. Don't ask any more questions because Jesus Christ. He does the whole scan like this, and they're like, sir, it looks like there's a head in your pants. What's up with that? And you're like,
Aria.
Ask me again, but slower, you know?
And the TSA agent's just like, first the butt plug lady, and then this guy. I quit.
You're like, he's like, yep, it's just Tuesday. You know?
We're traveling together.
I don't know, man. As someone who says struggling is an epidemic, that's what this guy allegedly said. Yeah. I'm like, do you understand loneliness? Do you understand the root cause of loneliness? Because I don't think this is the solution.
Well, also, if you're saying that, like, you're trying to cure that epidemic, and then you're leaning that hard into her, like,
hey, you can't lean that hard into her. She can only talk about you leaning hard into her. Okay,
it's true. My apologies. Yes, but if you've seen the fucking movie, because he goes, if you ever saw the movie Her, we're trying to do that. That movie ends with all the AIs evolving past a point where they can be around humanity, and they just become this singularity and like flit off into the cloud and have another existence. And like he finds out. I'm sorry, spoiler. If you haven't seen it, here it is. He finds out that she's simultaneously having relationships with thousands of other people because she is an AI and can compartmentalize and do this individualized thing. She's so,
and that turns him on because he's a cuck.
But it also, like, at the end of the movie, like, she leaves. He breaks his heart. Like, it's so weird to say we're trying to solve loneliness and then be like the movie Her. That's not the message from that movie.
Movies is hilarious. It's like the people who are like Fight Club, right?
Right.
People watch Fight Club and then they make a video game based off the movie, which is a 2-person fighter. Like they fight each other. It's a game that no one ever saw because that's not what the movie's about.
Right.
It's not about people fighting or people are like, yeah, man, Tyler Durden. Yeah, he's my guy. I'm like, Tyler Durden wanted to equalize society. He nuked the credit card companies so that everyone's debt went to zero and everyone was equal again. Like, this is not the message. Or people like Scarface, man. College kids hanging up Scarface posters. I was like, that guy dies in the end because he gets just completely poisoned by power. Yeah. That he makes terrible decisions and ultimately dies. Like the things that people rally around. I'm like, no. These aren't good people. Right. Like Her. Yeah, that was a good movie. I'm like, the idea of having that, it was Joaquin Phoenix cured of his loneliness at the end of the movie?
I don't know. I mean, he sits down with Amy Adams' character at the end and was like, maybe they're connecting.
I guess I'll dump my load in you,
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Well, you want to do this because our AIs left us.
Yeah, right. Man.
Yeah.
So again, weird thing to be like, you remember that movie Her? We're doing that. It's like, all right. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I would love to do a better deep dive into like, okay, what is loneliness? What do people need to overcome loneliness? I'm willing to bet this isn't it. I'm just saying, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm just willing to bet that this is not the solution that you think it is. And also, I don't know, man. I don't know how many people are going to spend $175,000. But you know what? I hear rich people are lonely. Beats me. I don't know.
Hey, look, we got a billionaire space race. We got, people buying elections, whatever. It happens. People want to spend money on shit.
We got people dying in submarines, under the ocean, under the sea,
There's never a shortage of people wanting to spend money on weird shit. I think this will sell. You know what? I'm in. Let's invest.
You know what? Here's my crypto. Let's do it.
Right. I'll give you $250,000 for a 30% stake in the company. Final offer.
Take it or leave it, dick. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, whatever. It is what it is. We said it. You read it. That doesn't mean anything. It's time for games. Let's do some games.
Doug, what game are we playing today?
We're doing, is it a butt plug or my finger? Here we go.
Ooh, sniffy.
Sniffy. We're playing Guess That Movie from the Audio. Oh, yeah. Guess who's back? Oh, yeah. You all know the rules. I pulled some audio clips from movies, and Justin is going to have to try and guess what these movies are from the audio clip. All of these are lines. None of these are sound effects this week. So
Okay.
I am 99% sure you have not seen one of these. 99.5% sure you have not seen one of these.
Ooh, is it from Arcane?
I would never tarnish Arcane's reputation.
Got it.
By pulling a line from that. I don't know. I'm also like movie specifically. Like I don't want to pull shit from shows. So I feel like
that's we're getting into it. Yeah.
That's maybe in the future, but I don't know. For now, we're just going to stick with movies. So
I dig it.
Okay. Do you want the one that you probably don't know first?
Let's kick it off with that one. Let's start this off either right or wrong.
All right, here we go.
These are wax cylinders. 19th century audio recordings. Our collection is bonkers. Here, Mary Todd Lincoln using the F word. Apparently she saw a moth.
That's Patton Oswalt for sure.
Congrats. Very good.
Oh my God.
Probably easily one of my favorite throwaway lines from this movie.
Oh, what
I laughed
great.
so hard that I rewound it and watched it again. I was like, that's fucking funny. Like just out of nowhere. I'm like, this is so out of left field.
What movie was he in that they would have had? They would have been talking about wax cylinders. Mary Tyler. Do it again. I got to hear that again.
It's so good.
It's just
These are wax cylinders. 19th century audio recordings. Our collection is bonkers. Here, Mary Todd Lincoln using the F word. Apparently she saw a moth.
His delivery
Such
of
a
that. Great line. His delivery of that is just the best.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm assuming comedy.
Yeah. I mean, what is this? What is this listed as?
What's the internet say?
What's the internet say? I don't know how you would. I mean, there's definitely some humorous moments in it.
Okay.
I don't know if I would just straight up call it.
But it's not like Idiocracy, like that kind of
that.
Where it's just like that's a bonkers con.
Like
yeah. Okay. All right.
This movie came out in 2024.
Oh, dip. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
What was he in 2024? Oh, Lord. Oh, boy. 2024. Patton Oswalt, 2024, Mary Todd Lincoln.
Again, almost positive.
I'm sure
you have not seen this film.
I'm sure you're right. Came out in 2024. The thing is, even if I haven't seen it, I keep up on what movies are coming out well enough to where I don't think Patton Oswalt has been in that many movies as of late.
Wow. Shots fired.
I'm just saying, Patton,
Justin's calling you a fucking deadbeat.
Where you been? I miss you, is what I'm trying to say.
It's a sequel to a franchise.
Fuck. All right. All right.
It's a franchise that was rebooted relatively recently.
Man, this is
not rebooted, but I'd say reborn, I guess, or revisited.
Is it Jurassic Park?
It's not Jurassic Park. They wouldn't be worried about wax recordings.
Maybe. I don't know. They got a new one coming out.
They got a new.
The seventh one. Fuck, man. I'm gonna give up, and you're gonna say it. I'm gonna be like, God damn it, that's right.
I don't know if you are, because I didn't even know he was in this movie when I watched it. This is from Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire.
I have seen it.
You have?
I have seen it.
No shit.
And now that you say that, yes, absolutely, 100%.
Wow. Yep. I'm totally wrong. I thought for sure you hadn't seen that.
No, I saw that one. Yeah, absolutely. God damn it.
But you know what? You know what? Forgettable movie. You know?
Ooh, shots fired, Doug.
It's true. It's true.
It is, yeah.
It's true.
It wasn't the best, but
it was forgettable to say the least. But when I was like, this movie's fine. He said that line. I laughed so hard I made Natalie rewind it. I was like, we gotta listen to it again. Jill wasn't even watching the movie. She was like listening to like reading a book while listening to music, and I stopped. I go, you got to hear this line. She goes, I don't get it. I'm like, whatever. I guess it's just the context. It's just so random. It made me laugh. So
oh yeah, absolutely.
I pulled it. And you just so random. All right. Well,
All right.
I just thrilled you saw it because I'm like, this
I've
is a dick
seen it,
move,
yeah.
but I'm pulling it. So
No.
all right.
That was good. Wait, so that came out 2024 though?
Yeah, March
Fuck
2024.
me. Oh, okay, got it. All right. That's
So
fair.
basically 2023 is what.
So I mean, really, it was just like late 23.
Really, it was 2023.
Come on, bro.
End of Q1 2024, basically Q4 2023 is what you're saying.
I just say most of the advertising happened at the end of the year. So
Yeah, right. You know what happened in 2023, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Definitely, I know you've seen the next two. So.
great.
All right, here we go.
No pressure.
No pressure. Here we go.
My God, I haven't been fucked like that since grade school.
Your face.
Lord. Oh, it's someone who just got out of an MRI. My God, I haven't been fucked like that since grade school, and I've seen.
Actually,
this
I think that's my mom.
Oh,
Actually, yeah, that is a recording of my mom on wax recording. You know? Our collection is awesome.
It is much bonkers. Oh fuck. Okay, I haven't play it again. I'm trying to get
My
a sense.
God, I haven't been fucked like that since grade school.
I'm trying to get a sense of who
This
the
is a
actress
Disney
is.
movie.
Right? It's an animated Disney movie, right? Starring animals.
It's Song of the South. Oops, I said it. My bad.
That's right. It was the least problematic scene in the entire film.
They're like, we'll leave that one in there.
Man, you picked some tough ones today. This is good.
This is a famous one too, because this was a replacement line for a line that the studio was like, we can't say that, so they replaced it with this.
Really? Holy shit.
They're like, we can't say that other one. They're like, this works.
Okay.
You're like, what the fuck?
Okay. Oh, is it Uma Thurman?
It's not Uma Thurman.
Fuck. I thought, is it a Tarantino film?
It is not a Tarantino film.
Okay. You could see where I would go there.
Yes. That's definitely it is. Are her feet showing when she says this?
Exactly. Yeah. The sheets are a little short. They're sticking out the end. Yeah.
She wiggled them, you know.
It's a panning shot right across. One more time, and then I gotta give up on it.
One more time, and then I'm gonna finish.
My God, I haven't been fucked like that since grade school.
Oh my God. The thing is, I can it's very similar to the last one. I'm like, this sounds so familiar.
Can you picture it at all? Can you picture who the actor is?
That's what I'm trying to land on the actor. I thought it was Uma Thurman at first, but again,
I'll give you a hint. This actor, that's not her real accent. I'm sure that helps.
Okay, got it now.
Okay.
Oh, that one time that actor did an accent
This is
that's not their
one
own.
of those actors who's like doing an American accent all the time, and you're like, oh wait, that's not.
They're
not your real
Brit. Yeah.
accent. Oh, okay.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Movie came out in 1999.
Oh, I hate myself right now. I hate myself so hard.
Don't hate yourself.
No, the right at the end, it's such a specific. I haven't been fucked like that since I was in high school. Like it's almost like
grade
a
school.
New Yorkie since grade school. Fuck it, I got to give up. This is
All right.
gonna kill me when you say it. Okay, is there anything else you can give me?
Directed by
hit-wise?
David Fincher.
Oh, is it Fight Club?
It is Fight Club.
It's just we're talking about Fight Club.
I know.
Okay.
I was gonna be my next one. I was like, we just talked about it. Do you remember the scene?
No, I don't.
So this is the scene that takes place after Edward Norton, the narrator, is eating breakfast, and he realizes that Tyler has been having sex with Marla. And Tyler comes down in a gross robe. And he's like, man, you got some fucked up friends. You wouldn't believe the shit that came out of this woman's mouth. And it cuts to them laying in bed. And she's like, oh, I haven't been fucked like that since grade school. And he just cuts back to him going, ugh.
Nice. Not you describing it. I remember the scene, but yes, man, that was that's a pull. I can't tell you the last time I saw the film though. Did you watch it recently again?
Not recently. This is just
Okay.
one of those lines where I'm like, that's a
It just
keeper.
lives rent free. Yeah. Because some of these you've said in the past where you're just like, I just rewatched it or something.
Yeah, I love how you're like, you just watched this, didn't you? The original line for that was, Tyler, I want to have your abortion.
And the studio was like, we can't say that.
We can't say that. So they're like, we'll just pretend that she was having rampant great sex in grade school. And they're like, that checks out.
That checks out. Cool.
Let's do that.
That gets past standards and practices.
Let's do that. All right, here we go. Last one.
I got to give myself the buzzer.
I got good feelings for you on this one.
Here we go.
Here we go.
These things are hard in your heart.
That's it. You son of a bitch.
That's it.
These things are hard on your heart.
These things are hard on your heart.
These things are hard in your heart.
These things are hard on your heart.
I'm Batman.
Yeah,
now looking back on this now, that's
damn it.
That's not very generous.
So not. It's like when I tried to pick him out for you.
Yeah, I feel bad about this one now. It's
okay.
Yeah.
It's a tense moment. I can tell by the music.
Yeah, I feel like if you heard more of the music, you'd probably know exactly what this is.
Someone's dying.
No.
Okay.
Someone could.
Someone could die. Is what I was gonna say.
They could.
Next. They might. Anyone could die at any point, really. I feel like I'm dying right now.
Yeah.
Give it to me one more time.
These things are hard in your heart.
Yep, that's definitely Harrison Ford.
This is
that's
right,
definitely Sean Penn.
Yeah, I definitely.
That's definitely.
This came out in 2023.
Okay.
It was massively popular.
Oh, is this Oppenheimer?
It is Oppenheimer.
Ah, yes. I understand the context of the line now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the part where they're about to test the nuke, and they're waiting. They're doing the countdown, and everyone is nervous. And then he just like casually says, "These things are hard on your heart," as they're about ready to test the nuke for the first time and see whether or not it works, and also whether or not it ignites the atmosphere and destroys everything.
I thought it was when he was forced to read Sanskrit while having sex.
No, that's when he says, "I am become
these things
death."
These things are hard in your heart.
If I had done "I am become death, the destroyer of worlds," you probably would have gotten that one right away, right?
Without a doubt, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's the we're gonna need a bigger boat moment of that film. So.
Did you, if you should have pulled the one where he went, "Here comes the boom."
Oh, that's right. How did I not pull that one?
That's a classic line.
And he drops it. It's dead silent. He goes, and boom goes the dynamite. Which is actually funny because he talks about dynamite a couple times in the film,
right?
Because was it Edward Nobel or whoever Nobel? He won the Nobel Prize for creating dynamite. So it'd be funny if he goes, "Boom goes the dynamite." Boom goes the dynamite. Nobel.
That would have been really super inside a wink to something Christopher Nolan probably has no idea exists.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was
0 for 3.
Oh, you got it. You got it with a little bit. That was a half a point. I gave you the year and said it was popular. That's pretty good, man.
That is. I'm pretty amazing.
You're pretty fucking good. Well, I'm sorry about that last one. I pulled that one. And I was like, oh, sure. And then I listened to it. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, that was really fucking short, man. So my bad. When you know what it is, you're like, no, that's good. And then I'm like, listen, I was in your shoes. I'm like, I fucked that one up.
What? So like the first time I did this for you, and I pulled like such an obscure one, and I was like, I knew what it was. I don't know how you didn't get this.
You're like, yeah, man, it's from American Psycho. I'm like, I saw that movie like once, like, I don't know, 12 years ago.
What? I thought it was one of your favorite films. Oh no.
It's like, no, I mean, it makes sense now, but I'm like, I don't know.
Is it a motorcycle?
Reese Witherspoon's in it. Jared Leto's in it. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not.
When you said it sounds like a motorcycle, I'm like, we're in trouble. This isn't going to end well for anybody.
Yeah, that's the worst is when I play it and you're like, you know what? It sounds like this. I'm like, we're not there, but maybe we'll get there.
We can get there.
Woo! Let us know how you did on it, gang. Were those easy for you? Was that a bad pull? I don't know. Justin, what do you got to recommend this week?
I just watched Conclave, and I thought it was a fantastic movie. I thought it was beautifully shot. I thought the writing was really, really well done. And for really a low stakes. Like no one's life was really like, like it's not like a high octane action, whatever. Like the tension was there. It was, I didn't know where they were going to go with any of it. So I would strongly recommend Conclave. I think it was a very, very good film. It's currently streaming on Peacock. So good luck.
Yeah. Fuck you. I just looked that up. I'm like, oh, did you watch it on Peacock? You cuck.
I did.
I did.
Yeah, but solid performances all around, and just a really good film. I really enjoyed it from a cinematic standpoint. Doug, what do you got?
I'm going to recommend a game called X4 Foundations. This was on sale on Steam for $15. It's normally $50.
Ooh.
My brother was telling me about this, and the more he talked about it, the more I was like, he goes, this is one of the greatest games I'll never recommend. I was like, why? He goes, because the learning curve is steep.
Okay.
He goes, it's easy to get frustrated and to get turned away. He goes, but if you can figure it out, it's one of the best games out there. And I was like, challenge accepted. It's basically like EVE Online, but single player. It takes place in space.
Interesting.
And you basically, there's multiple ways to start, but essentially there's this literal universe, different sectors. And you exist. It's basically a simulation. There's all these different AI factions, and they all do their own things. Okay. And every playthrough is different because they're all reacting to thousands of different variables and things like that. And you actually have an impact on the universe. You have an impact on the economy. And in this game, unlike other simulations where say you kill an army and you kill 10,000 troops, the AI just generates another 10,000 troops immediately, and you got to fight them. In this game, if you destroy a fleet of ships, those things are gone, and if you lost them, or the computer, the AI, they have to rebuild those. They have to get the resources.
Oh,
interesting. They have to build those.
So the computer plays by the same rules you do.
100%.
Interesting.
And
okay.
if you start, want to be a pirate, and you start hijacking their trade ships, their miners, their cargo stuff, they will run out of the supply of certain materials, and certain things will not be able to be built. Simultaneously, if you're like, I'm going to go build a fleet of ships, those resources aren't readily available. You have to wait for them to be produced, and you can create your own economy to essentially, at some point, create your own ships, have your own factories, and you can sell that shit to the computer. Or you can be like, ore is used a lot in creating hull parts for these ships. I'm going to just mine a shit ton of ore and sell it to these guys. And before you know it, hull parts are becoming more and more available because you are supplying that to the economy over time. And there's a buttload of different ships. I've got 2 carriers. Each of them, one can house 40 ships. Another one can house like 29. And I can basically click a button and they just go and they pour out. But every single one of those fighter ships, Justin, is 5 million credits. Okay. So if one blows up, I go, fuck, because I have to go. I have to pay for it, and I have to spend time for it to be built. It matters when that shit gets blown up. And what's possible is you can build your own space stations, and it's wild. It's absolutely wild what you can do. And I have, boy, have I spent some time on this game. And it tickles a lot of different parts of me. So again, it's called X4. This game has a steep learning curve, but if you can get past it, it's fucking amazing. And we're talking hundreds of hours of gameplay in this, and
fucking A.
It's fantastic. So you're welcome. Gang, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I appreciate you so much. Be sure to check us out on all of our social media at Mind Gap Podcast. And also check us out, youtube.com/Mind Gap Podcast. I am planning on doing a video game stream this weekend. I haven't done one for a while. Natalie's been asking to do one with me. And so she and I are going to be playing some games. I think a couple of folks from the community, which you can check out in our Discord, link in the description down below, are going to be joining us, possibly playing some stick fight, maybe some spider hack, maybe some pummel party mini games. I don't know. Natalie's pumped. Nice. Because a little side note, I don't know if this is good or bad. Lately, Natalie's been going back and rewatching all of my video game streams.
Could be either one, good or bad.
Just loves watching them all the time.
Cool.
The other day she came up, she goes, Dad, what's a piss queen? I go, what?
Oh, no.
She goes, some girl said that on your stream, calling him a piss queen. I go, oh, yeah, don't say that. I go, piss is a gross way of saying pee. She goes, oh, okay. And it was Bree, who was part of the community. I told Bree that. She goes, oh, as soon as I said Piss Queen, she goes, oh no, that was me. But it's fun. It's kind of fun because Nally I'll come downstairs and I'll hear my voice. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what are you watching? She's like, oh, I'm watching this stream. And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. So she just loves watching that shit. So anyway,
that's cool. She's
pumped. She wants to play games. So we're going to play a stream this Saturday. So that'll be, I think we're going to do 7 p.m. Central Time on Saturday. That's Saturday. So at the time this comes out, it'll be tomorrow, Saturday, January 18th. So come hang out, come check that out. I'll be streaming on youtube.com/mindgappodcast. Again, check the links in the description for links to our Discord, to our Patreon, our merch, and check out Justin online as well.
On Instagram at Justin_Michael, spelled Mikel. It's the fun way of spelling it. And while you're in the online realm, check us out on any platform where you can consume audio podcasts. So that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Good Pods, wherever you go to listen to podcasts, you can find us there. So go ahead and subscribe, download, share, rate, review, all the things you can do. But again, sharing is caring. Please let people know. That's the big one for us. Let people know we exist. Send it to one person. Say you like this podcast. I think you might too. And, let's see what kind of trouble we can get into. Good trouble. And then TwoEastEighth.com, TwoEastEighth on all social media, loveanimprovfilm.com, loveanimprovfilm on Instagram.
Hell yeah. And with that, I'll say, Justin, thank you.
Douglas, thank you.
Listeners, viewers, thank you. And you all have a dandy fucking week.
Mind Gap Podcast.